Have you ever felt invisible? That feeling that your words get lost in the air, that your actions go unnoticed, that you simply don't matter enough to others? This silent pain corrodes from within, making us question our own worth. Insecurity doesn't arise from nothing. It feeds precisely on those moments when we seek validation outside ourselves and find only emptiness. But what if I told you that this desperate search for external approval is precisely what is undermining your confidence? The ancient Stoic philosophers already knew this more than 2,000 years ago, and their lessons remain the most powerful antidote to modern emotional fragility. In this content, you will discover 12 transformative principles that will teach you how to build an unshakable inner fortress, where your security no longer depends on the whims of others, but rather on a deep understanding of who you truly are. Prepare for a journey that will challenge everything you believed about self-confidence, resilience, and life purpose. What you will learn here has the power to completely change the way you relate to yourself and the world around you. 1. The illusion of control. You know that person who ignores you and you keep wondering what they did wrong? Well, here's the first big insight. The indifference you see in others usually says much more about them than about you. When someone builds emotional walls around themselves, they're just trying to protect their own unhealed wounds. It's like that coworker who never answers your emails attentively. They may be so overwhelmed by their own insecurities that they simply can't genuinely connect. True strength lies not in controlling how others react to you, but in recognizing that those reactions belong to them, not to you. Stoicism teaches us something revolutionary. You cannot control the actions of others, only your own responses. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome and Stoic philosopher, used to say that we only have power over our thoughts and choices. When you understand this deeply, something magical happens. You stop wasting energy trying to decipher why so-and-so treated you coldly or why so-and-so didn't value your effort. This understanding frees you from an invisible prison where most people spend their entire lives. Self-control begins right here, in accepting that certain things are simply not within your control. Think of it like a game of chess where you can only move your own pieces. You can study the board, anticipate moves, develop strategies, but you can never control your opponent's pieces. Insecurity arises precisely when we try to play with someone else's pieces, when our inner peace depends on moves that don't belong to us. Emotional self-sufficiency flourishes when you finally accept that you can only play your own game, and that, my friend, is more than enough. This is the basis of all genuine resilience. Understanding the limits of your control and making peace with them. 2. Detachment from the expectations of others. How many times have you molded your words, your clothes, your opinions to fit what you imagined others expected of you? This exhausting dance of pleasing everyone is like trying to be all the colors of the rainbow at once. You end up becoming gray. Detaching yourself from others' expectations doesn't mean becoming insensitive or selfish. It simply means stopping betraying who you are in exchange for crumbs of approval. When you live authentically, some people will drift away, and that's okay, they weren't your real people. Genuine connections happen when you have the courage to show your imperfections, your controversial opinions, your peculiar way of seeing the world. Epictetus, another great Stoic thinker who, interestingly, was a slave before becoming a philosopher, said something powerful. If you want to progress, abandon thoughts like these. If I neglect my business, I will have no sustenance, or if I do not punish my servant, he will become wicked. It is better to die of hunger without fear and anxiety than to live in abundance with disturbance. Translating this to our reality, it is better to be yourself and face possible rejections than to live a life of superficial abundance but existential emptiness. True empathy arises when you allow yourself to be vulnerable, not when you wear masks to gain sympathy. People connect with what is real, not with what is perfect. Start small. In your next conversation, try expressing a genuine opinion that you would normally keep to yourself for fear of displeasing someone. Observe what happens. Most of the time, you'll find that people respect authenticity more than they agree with sanitized opinions. This exercise is like strengthening an atrophied muscle. It hurts at first, but over time you develop impressive inner strength. Self-compassion also comes into play here. Forgive yourself for the times you betrayed your convictions to be accepted. You were doing the best you could with the emotional resources you had at that moment. and recognizing this without harsh judgment is a fundamental part of growth. 3. The power of indifference as an inner strength. Here's a truth that might sound strange at first. When someone treats you with indifference, you're facing an opportunity disguised as a test. It's like that difficult teacher everyone feared, but who, in the end, taught you more than anyone else. The indifference of others acts as a mirror, revealing where your inner security still needs reinforcement. If someone's coldness completely destabilizes you, it indicates that you're still placing your value in the wrong hands, in the hands of those who have neither the capacity nor the obligation to validate it. Stoicism invites us to see these situations not as personal attacks, but as training to strengthen our emotional resilience. Seneca, advisor to emperors and one of the most practical Stoics, suggested a fascinating exercise. Periodically imagine the worst possible scenarios. Not to torment yourself, but to realize that you would survive them. If someone completely ignores you, what happens? Do you crumble? Disappear? Lose your intrinsic value? Obviously not. This practice, called premeditatio malorum, develops incredible psychological self-sufficiency. You begin to understand that your purpose in life cannot depend on the goodwill of others, because that would be like building your house on quicksand. Your foundation needs to be solid, anchored in values and principles that no one can take away from you. In practice, this means developing projects, hobbies, and goals that don't depend on an audience or external approval to have meaning. Write that book even if no one reads it. Cultivate that garden even if no one visits. Develop that skill for the pure pleasure of mastering something new. When your life has purpose independent of others' recognition, the indifference of others becomes irrelevant. Not because you have become insensitive, but because you have built an internal source of satisfaction and meaning. This is the kind of self-control that the Stoics valued so much. The ability to maintain inner serenity regardless of the external storms that arise around you. Stoic silence. Have you ever noticed how the most confident people rarely over-justify themselves? There's a magnetic power in conscious silence, in that ability to let certain provocations evaporate without dignifying them with a response. We're not talking about passivity or cowardice, we're talking about sophisticated emotional strategy. When someone provokes you and you choose silence, you're essentially saying, "Your attempt to destabilize me doesn't deserve my energy." It's like a martial arts master who could fight but chooses not to because they know that true victory lies in preserving their inner peace. Self-control manifested through silence is one of the most eloquent demonstrations of strength that exists. Marcus Aurelius had an interesting exercise. Before reacting to any situation, he would ask himself, does this harm my ability to be virtuous? Does this impede my reason from functioning? Most of the time, the answer was no, and he simply let it pass. Imagine applying this when someone sends you that passive-aggressive message or makes a nasty comment in front of others. Instead of spending hours crafting the perfect response or dwelling on the incident, you simply recognize that reacting is giving power to those who don't deserve it. This form of resilience isn't easy to develop, but it's liberating. You realize you don't have to attend every fight you're invited to. Start by practicing with small situations. That unnecessary comment on social media, that piece of gossip that reaches your ears, that family member who always has something negative to say. Take a deep breath, count to 10, and ask yourself, will responding to this improve my life or just fuel a cycle of negativity? Over time, you'll notice that strategic silence not only preserves your emotional energy, but also confuses those who expect to trigger a reaction in you. They lose interest when they realize you're not an easy target. This practice cultivates a healthy indifference, not the cold, avoidant indifference, but the kind that stems from a deep understanding of where it's worth investing your attention and where it's not. 5. Transforming absence into self-sufficiency. The lack of external validation may seem like a curse, but it's actually a disguised invitation to something much greater, the discovery of your own company. Think about it. How many people do you know who simply can't be alone, who constantly need likes, messages, confirmations that they exist and matter? This dependence is a sophisticated prison, where the bars are invisible but absolutely real. When you learn to transform the absence of external recognition into an opportunity to develop emotional independence, something profound changes within you. It's like discovering you have a source of clean water inside your house and no longer need to beg for drops at your neighbors' houses. Stoicism teaches that self-sufficiency doesn't mean isolation or arrogance, but rather the ability to be emotionally self-sufficient. It means you can appreciate the company and affection of others, but you don't depend on it to maintain your sanity. Epictetus had a killer phrase: "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few needs." Apply this to the emotional realm. You are rich when you need little external validation to feel complete. Start by identifying moments when you seek approval. Posting something on social media and constantly checking the likes, fishing for compliments in conversations, modifying behaviors to make a good impression. Don't judge yourself for this. Just observe the pattern with empathy and curiosity. Next, create deliberate practices of emotional self-sufficiency. Keep a journal where you record your daily achievements, however small. Create solitary rituals that you genuinely enjoy, such as that morning walk or that special coffee you prepare with care. Develop the habit of praising yourself when you do something well, without expecting others to notice. It may seem strange at first. After all, we have been conditioned to seek external validation since childhood. But with consistency, you build such a strong inner presence that relationships become genuine choices, not desperate needs. This is the difference between healthy relationships and codependent relationships. When you are already whole, you can share your wholeness, not look for someone to fill your voids. Personal growth flourishes in this fertile ground of self-compassion and self-sufficiency. 6. The wisdom of time. We live in the age of instant gratification, where we expect immediate results for everything, even character building and recognition of worth. But here's an inconvenient truth. The truly important things in life take time to mature, like a fine wine or a fruit tree. You can plant a seed today and be frustrated because you don't see a giant tree tomorrow, or you can trust the natural process of growth. Stoicism invites us to develop this wise patience, recognizing that our true worth is revealed not in the buzz of social media or the volatile opinions of the crowd, but in the consistency of our actions over time. Genuine resilience is built day by day, decision by decision. Marcus Aurelius, even as the emperor of Rome with immense power, never sought immediate recognition for his virtues. He wrote his philosophical reflections for himself, without intending to publish them, and today, almost 2,000 years later, his Meditations are considered one of the most important works on personal development ever written. Ironic, isn't it? The man who didn't seek fame achieved intellectual immortality. This perfectly illustrates the Stoic principle of focusing on what you control, your virtuous actions, and detaching yourself from what you don't control, recognition from others. When you act with purpose and integrity, time eventually separates the wheat from the chaff, revealing who truly built something of value versus who merely made noise. In practice, this means cultivating consistent actions even when no one is applauding. That reading habit you maintain even when you can't post photos of your books. That kindness towards strangers that no one witnesses. That discipline of waking up early to work on your projects even without likes or validation. I strongly recommend that you read The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. He scientifically demonstrates how small, consistent actions completely transform your life over time. Combine this with Stoic philosophy and you have a powerful formula. Self-control to maintain discipline, plus trust in the temporal process. This combination eliminates anxiety for immediate results and builds something much more valuable. A solid character that endures regardless of external applause or indifference. 7. Gratitude in the face of indifference. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? To feel gratitude precisely when someone treats you with disdain or coldness. But the Stoics discovered something fascinating. Every challenge is a disguised invitation for you to strengthen some inner virtue. When someone ignores you or treats you with indifference, you have a golden opportunity to practice emotional self-sufficiency, to reaffirm your own worth regardless of external validation, to develop that resilience we talk so much about. It's like working out at the gym. You're not happy when the weight is heavy, but that's exactly where your muscles grow. The indifference of others is emotional weight that, if used correctly, makes you stronger. Epictetus had a radical perspective on this. He said we should thank the people who challenge us because they are, inadvertently, helping us practice Stoic virtues. That boss who never acknowledges your work? He's giving you the chance to develop intrinsic satisfaction from a job well done. That family member who always criticizes you, he's offering you free training in self-control and patience. We're not saying you should submit to toxic relationships or accept abuse, far from it. We're talking about changing the lens through which you view unavoidable situations. When you transform obstacles into opportunities for growth, nothing can truly defeat you. Practice a simple exercise. At the end of each day, list 3 difficult situations you faced and ask yourself, what virtue did this situation allow me to practice? Perhaps that meeting where your ideas were ignored gave you a chance to practice humility and resilience. Perhaps that friend who canceled plans offered you an opportunity to enjoy your own company. This exercise in gratitude isn't about denying legitimate emotions or pretending that hurts don't hurt. It's about finding purpose and meaning even in the most challenging experiences. This change of perspective, when practiced consistently, transforms your relationship with adversity. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the protagonist of your own journey of personal evolution, nurturing empathy even for those who test you. 8. Transforming pain into growth. Pain is democratic, it visits everyone without exception. But prolonged suffering, the kind that corrodes your soul for months or years, that is optional. There is a crucial difference between the inevitable pain of loss, rejection, or disappointment, and the suffering we create by constantly dwelling on these experiences, by constructing narratives of victimization, by refusing to learn from what happened. The Stoics understood that we cannot prevent bad things from happening, but we have complete control over how we respond to them. This response, this conscious choice of how to process adversity, determines whether you emerge from the experience smaller or larger. Genuine self-control manifests itself precisely here, in the ability to direct your mind toward constructive interpretations even when everything seems to be falling apart. Seneca spent years in exile on a deserted island, far from Rome, his family, and the power he once held. He could have spent that time in bitterness and resentment. Instead, he used his isolation to write some of his most profound works on Stoic philosophy, on how to find inner peace regardless of external circumstances. When he finally returned from exile, he was a wiser man, not a more bitter one. That is the essence of Stoic resilience, using each adversity as raw material for character building. Think about your own pain. That breakup that destroyed you, that unfair dismissal, that betrayal that shook your confidence. These events may have been doors that slammed shut, but what have you built from the rubble? Here's a transformative exercise. Write a letter to your future self describing how this current pain has made you stronger, more compassionate, and wiser. Write in the past tense, as if you've already completely overcome it. Dear future me, remember that terrible situation in 2025? Well, it taught me that I have an incredible capacity to bounce back. It forced me to develop emotional self-sufficiency I didn't even know existed. It showed me who was truly by my side. It led me to discover this new purpose in life that fulfills me so much today. This exercise doesn't deny the real pain you feel now. It recontextualizes that pain as an essential part of your growth journey, cultivating self-compassion for what you're going through while keeping your eyes fixed on who you're becoming through it all. 9. Embrace uncertainty. Want to know one of the main sources of modern insecurity? The obsession with control and predictability in a world that is inherently uncertain and chaotic. You make detailed plans, and life laughs and changes everything at the last minute. You try to control how others see you and discover you have no power over other people's perceptions. You seek guarantees in a universe that simply offers no guarantees. This struggle against the fundamental nature of reality is exhausting and futile. The Stoics propose something revolutionary. What if, instead of resisting uncertainty, you learn to dance with it? What if mental flexibility were more valuable than rigid plans? What if true security came not from controlling the external world, but from developing internal resilience to deal with whatever arises? Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire constantly threatened by wars, plagues, and political betrayals. He couldn't control these threats, but he could control his responses to them. One of his most famous quotes, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Realize this and you will find strength." This acceptance of uncertainty is not passive resignation. It's active liberation. When you stop wasting energy trying to control the uncontrollable, you have plenty of energy left to invest in what really matters: your character, your choices, your reactions. Emotional self-sufficiency flourishes when you understand that you don't need external certainties because you've developed the inner confidence to navigate any storm. Practice deliberately embracing small uncertainties. Take a different route to work without using GPS. Start a conversation without a pre-planned mental script. Try a new activity without researching everything about it beforehand. These small improvisation exercises train your brain to feel comfortable in the unknown. I recommend Nassim Taleb's Anti-Fragile. He demonstrates how systems and people that benefit from chaos and uncertainty are far more robust than those that try to eliminate all risk. Combine this perspective with stoicism and you develop a powerful mindset. Prepared for the worst, hoping for the best, but emotionally balanced regardless of the outcome. This is the essence of Stoic self-control. Not trying to control the world, but completely mastering your reactions to it, cultivating empathy for your own growth process on this journey full of uncertainties. 10. Self-compassion. Harsh self-criticism is one of the cruelest manifestations of insecurity. You make mistakes, as every human being does, but instead of learning from them, you torment yourself, diminish yourself, and mentally replay all your failures like a broken record. This is not growth, it's emotional self-flagellation. The Stoics valued virtue, but they weren't masochists. They understood that treating oneself with kindness is not weakness or indulgence. It's wisdom. When you acknowledge your imperfections without harsh judgment, you create a solid foundation of self-esteem that doesn't depend on being perfect or receiving constant approval. Genuine self-compassion strengthens your resilience because you know that, no matter what happens, you will treat yourself with dignity and respect. Marcus Aurelius had an interesting practice. When he made a mistake, he would reflect on it briefly, extract the lesson, and then move on without rumination. He wrote, "When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I will deal with today will be meddlesome, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, envious, and malicious. They are like this because they cannot distinguish good from evil." Now apply this to yourself. Are you sometimes meddlesome, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, envious, or malicious? Of course you are human. But this happens because at certain times you cannot clearly distinguish good from evil, because you are operating under stress, fear, or confusion. Having empathy for others begins with having empathy for yourself. You are not a perfect virtue machine, you are a complex human being, trying to do the best you can with the resources you have. Create a self-compassion ritual. When something goes wrong, place your hand on your heart, take a deep breath, and mentally say, "This is difficult. I'm doing the best I can. I deserve kindness, especially from my own mind." Sounds silly? Studies by Kristen Neff, a pioneer in self-compassion research, show that this simple practice dramatically reduces anxiety and depression while increasing motivation and resilience. Read her Self-Compassion. It will change your relationship with yourself. The fascinating paradox is that when you stop being your own worst critic and become your best ally, you grow more, not less. Insecurity feeds on merciless self-criticism. Genuine confidence grows in the soil of self-compassion and acceptance. This is not an invitation to complacency, but to sustainable growth based on healthy self-love, not on self-flagellation motivated by deep insecurity that you are finally learning to transform. 11. The virtue of tolerance. When someone treats you with indifference or cruelty, your first impulse is probably to reciprocate, right? It's human. But here's where Stoicism becomes truly transformative. What if that person's indifference actually has nothing to do with you? What if they're fighting such intense internal battles that they simply don't have any emotional energy left for anyone else? Responding to coldness with empathy doesn't mean being a doormat or accepting disrespect. It means recognizing that other people's behavior often reflects their own internal conflicts, not their true worth. This understanding preserves your inner peace because you stop personalizing actions that actually say more about the other person's emotional state than about who you are. Marcus Aurelius had a fascinating practice. Before judging someone, he would try to imagine what life story might have led that person to act that way. That aggressive boss? Perhaps he grew up in an environment where vulnerability was punished and control was the only form of security he knew. That friend who abandoned you when you needed her most? Perhaps she was so immersed in her own crises that she literally couldn't see beyond them. This doesn't justify harmful behaviors, but it contextualizes them. When you understand that wounded people tend to wound others, you develop a tolerance that is not weakness, but strength. The strength to not let the pain of others contaminate your own inner peace. This is sophisticated emotional resilience. Maintaining healthy boundaries while cultivating genuine understanding. Practice this exercise. The next time someone treats you badly, stop and ask yourself, what pain might this person be carrying that makes them act this way? It's not about finding excuses for toxic behavior. It's about developing the ability to not absorb other people's toxicity. You can create firm boundaries. I don't accept being treated like this, while maintaining empathy. But I understand you might be going through something difficult. This combination of firmness and compassion is rare and powerful. I recommend Nonviolent Communication by Marshall Rosenberg. He teaches how to express needs and set boundaries while maintaining genuine human connections. When you respond to indifference with balanced empathy, you not only preserve your inner peace but also create the possibility of authentic connections. After all, your purpose is not to collect enemies or harbor resentment, but to cultivate meaningful relationships with people who are also on this complicated journey we call life, while maintaining emotional self-sufficiency that protects you from unhealthy dependence on external validation. 12. Finding purpose in adversity. And we arrive at the final principle, the one that ties everything together, transforming each challenge into a personal mission of growth. Viktor Frankl, who survived Nazi concentration camps, discovered something profoundly stoic. Even in the most horrific circumstances, you still have the freedom to choose how to make sense of what you are experiencing. He wrote Man's Search for Meaning, one of the most impactful books ever written, based on this premise. Suffering finds something redeeming when you manage to extract meaning from it. We're not talking about toxic positivity or pretending that bad things are good. We're talking about using each adversity as raw material to build purpose, to redefine who you are and what you value. Every moment of indifference you face, every rejection, every closed door can become fuel for your transformation. The Stoics had a concept called amor fati, love of fate. It means embracing everything that happens, good or bad, as a necessary part of your journey. Marcus Aurelius said, "Our action may be hindered, but there can be no hindrance to our intention or our disposition." In other words, you may not be able to control what happens to you, but you can completely control where it takes you. That romantic rejection can lead you to bitterness, or it can lead you to develop emotional self-sufficiency and attract healthier relationships. That professional failure can destroy you, or it can redirect you to a path more aligned with your true purpose. The difference lies in the interpretation you choose, the meaning you attribute, the narrative you construct about your own life. Try this powerful exercise. Take the most significant adversity you are facing right now and complete this sentence. This situation exists to teach me that, and then this situation will lead me to. For example, this situation of being constantly ignored at work exists to teach me that my worth does not depend on the recognition of others, and this situation will lead me to develop side projects where I find intrinsic meaning. You are literally, continue, 12:15, reprogramming your relationship with difficulty, transforming it from a threat into an opportunity. This is the pinnacle of Stoic self-control, total mastery over the meaning you attribute to your experiences. When you master this, you develop unwavering resilience because you know that no matter what life throws at you, you have the ability to transform it into growth, into purpose, into fuel to become the best version of yourself. A version that overflows with empathy, self-compassion, and an inner security that no longer depends on external applause because you finally understood that the only applause that truly matters is the one that comes from within when you lay your head on the pillow. Knowing that you lived with integrity, courage, and authenticity. So you've made it this far. You've absorbed 12 Stoic principles that have the power to completely revolutionize your relationship with insecurity, with external validation, with your own self-worth. But here's the question that really matters. What now? Will you close this page and go back to the same old patterns, seeking approval in the wrong places, personalizing the indifference of others, treating yourself with a severity you would never use with a dear friend? Or will you consciously choose to implement at least one of these principles today, right now, at this very moment? Think about it. Which of the 12 lessons resonated most deeply with you? Was it the power of Stoic silence that caught your attention? Was it the idea of transforming the absence of validation into self-sufficiency? Was it the practice of self-compassion that you never allowed yourself to experience? Choose one, just one, and commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. Observe what happens when you deliberately apply ancient wisdom to modern situations. Feel how your resilience grows when you stop being held hostage by the opinions of others and begin to build that inner fortress that no one can tear down. Insecurity doesn't magically disappear because you've read a script. It gradually diminishes each time you choose to respect your own worth. Each time you respond to challenges with growth instead of bitterness. Each time you treat your imperfections with kindness instead of cruelty. Stoicism isn't abstract theory. It's daily practice. It's conscious choice. It's the courage to live authentically in a world that constantly invites you to be someone else. Are you willing to accept that invitation? Are you prepared to build such solid inner confidence that the indifference of others becomes irrelevant? If this content resonated with you, if it sparked a flame of change, don't let that energy be lost. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive more reflections that will help you on this journey of personal transformation. Share this video with someone who needs to hear these truths. Leave a comment telling us which of the 12 lessons you will start practicing today. Let's create a community of people committed to genuine growth, not to masks of perfection. Remember, life is too short to waste it looking for validation from those who can't or won't give it to you. Your purpose, your peace, your confidence, all of that already exists within you. Time to stop looking outside for what has always been inside.